up, YouTube? It's your girl Leash. So it's been a minute, but I was inspired today. I had to do another video. I want to go back to a topic I touched on in a previous video about forgiveness. So this is like forgiveness part 2. I was watching this documentary on Netflix. Shout out to Netflix, I love it. But it was about this lady named Eva, and she was a Holocaust survivor. And so she went around advocating to others that she forgave the Germans and the Nazis who perpetrated all of this violence and hatefulness onto her because she was in Auschwitz. I can't pronounce that. But, they did medical testing on her and everything. And so the documentary is called Forgiving Mengele. And if you don't know Mengele, Dr. Mengele was the doctor that was in charge of performing all of these experiments. And, people would come into the camp, the Jews would come into the camp, and he would send most of them to the gas chamber, and then he would keep some, especially twins, and then perform experiments on them and, infect them with viruses and cut off limbs and then kill them and cut them open to do autopsies to see what happened. So, they killed her whole family, Eva's whole family, and her sister ended up dying as a result of something that she was injected with at the camp. But she went around telling people that she forgave Mengele and the other Germans and Nazis that were the cause of so much of her pain. Now I know what you're thinking, like the nerve of this broad, right? Forgiving. But that's actually what people thought. Like she caught a lot of flack, especially from other Holocaust survivors, because she was forgiving the Nazis. And so a main argument that the survivors would say was that she didn't have the authority to forgive on behalf of the millions of the Jews that died. She didn't have the right to say that they were forgiven. And so Eva would say, well, I'm not forgiving them on behalf of everyone. I'm forgiving them on behalf of myself, for myself, so that I can cut free from this pain and move on. And, it rings true to, what I was saying in my last video. Forgiveness isn't for the perpetrator. It is for the victim. It's for the person that's trying to move on. Because if you don't forgive, you can't let go. And you got all that pain and suffering in your heart. And who wants to live with that? And so another big argument that they had, her forgiveness sparked a whole bunch of debates. They sparked this just debate on this conference on forgiveness in general. And so this other lady was like, well, how can you forgive without, some type of atonement or, retribution or even apology from the person that hurt you? And, Eva was like, and I agree with this wholeheartedly, I'm not forgiving for their sake. I'm forgiving for my sake. And if I sit there and continue to withhold my forgiveness until they do some kind of penance or show me that they're truly sorry, or until they do something, then I'm still the victim because I'm still waiting for them. I'm still at their whim. I'm still at their mercy. And I completely agree with that. And it's kind of arrogant to me to believe that, if you withhold forgiveness from someone, it's kind of like you're punishing them. Like, well, I don't forgive you, so Like, who cares if the guy or the person was terrible enough to do something to harm you in the first place? They probably don't care that you're withholding your forgiveness, that you don't forgive them. I don't think Dr. Mengele is rolling around in his grave like, oh my gosh, these Jews just don't want to forgive me. Like, they don't care. The forgiveness is not for the other person. It's for the forgiver so that they could cut free and move on with their lives and not have to hold on to that pain and that hurt. And, another argument that was brought up was the religious side of it. Only God can forgive someone. Again, it's not like, you say you forgive someone who's harmed you and that washes away all their sins and they can walk into the pearly gates of heaven now. No, that's what God does. That kind of forgiveness, that's for God. But the kind of forgiveness you can do can wash away that resentment in your heart. And that's what's important, because you have to take care of yourself. And don't we say in the Lord's Prayer, forgive us our trespasses so we can forgive those who trespass against us? Now, if forgiveness is such a holy thing, such a great ideal to aspire to, why are people so angry? Why were they so angry that she had the nerve to forgive? Why are people so hesitant to forgive others in regular life? You know, we just want to hold on to it, as if it's punishing the other person. It's not. And I know that it's hard to forgive someone if they've done something to you that you don't understand. Like, you don't understand why they would do something to you. But, you know, I don't understand how the molecules in my gas, when I put the gas in my car, how the molecules combust and propel my car forward so I can get from point A to point B. But that doesn't stop me from driving. And so your lack of understanding of why someone would do something to you, I don't think that should stop you from forgiving. Because if you don't forgive, it's going to stop you from doing a lot of things with your life and moving on mentally, you know. And so a big point of my book, Put You on Game, The Psychology of Dysfunctional Love, link below, is, dang it, what was I going to say? Yeah, just because you love someone doesn't mean you have to be with them. Okay, well, just because you forgive someone doesn't mean you have to trust them again. 9 times out of 10, you probably should not. You know, you can forgive, but you don't forget, because you're just going to set yourself up for it again. So, I don't know. That's just my 2 thoughts, YouTube, on forgiveness. Please, people, go out there and forgive other people. We're all just humans trying to make it, doing what we're doing. And if you find out somebody is acting a little less than human, if they're really a hurtful person, just stay away from them. But, you know, don't hold on to that resentment, because they're still going to be hurting you. It's still going to cause you harm if you keep holding on to that. All right, that's my 2 cents. Peace out.